Hello my lovers! So it's almost Valentine's Day, and one of my favorite parts of Valentine's Day is buying an entire bag of candy and eating it all by myself. But this year is different because I vowed a month ago that I would start eating a lot healthier, and it's just too soon to give up my New Year's resolution. But I do not want to give up sweets. So I have this amazing recipe. It's strawberry cheesecake and it's to die for. It is gluten-free, vegan, paleo, no sugar added, and dairy-free. I'm going to share that with you now. I really like doing that.
Alright, so we're going to start with 3 cups of raw cashews soaked for about 3 to 4 hours. Then we'll add 2 cups of almond meal to our food processor. Next, you're going to add half a cup or 4 large dates, pitted and de-stemmed. Then 2 tablespoons of grade B maple syrup. We love syrup. Next, 1/3 cup unsweetened coconut flakes and a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil joins the rest of the ingredients, and we're going to blend. And here is your crust. How easy was that? So you're going to spread the crust across a lightly greased 13 by 9 inch pan. Get that all good and even. And then once you're done with that, you're going to set it in the freezer until you're ready to serve. Next, I strained my cashews and I add them to the blender. And I do this little by little because my food processor is kind of ghetto. So we're going to add a half a teaspoon of salt and then half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2/3 cup of grade B maple syrup. 3/4 cups of lemon juice will give you that tart flavor that you want in your strawberry cheesecake. Then this is completely optional, but it really gives this authentic vanilla flavor if you use the seeds of 1 vanilla bean pod. And what you're going to do is cut it right down the middle, and then you just kind of scrape out all of the seeds that are on the inside. You can find them at Safeway near the spices, and they're potent. There's so much flavor in just that little handful. Toss that in, blend it together, and that looks pretty cool. And to this, I add 3/4 cup of coconut oil that's been melted. And we're going to blend that all together, and we've got our filling. Notice how much this looks like real cheesecake. No one will know. So I removed the crust from the freezer, and I'm going to add this dreamy, creamy filling on top. Is it normal to be attracted to food? So I added a little design, nothing crazy, but look how nice that looks. Such little effort. And I'm going to freeze that for about 8 hours or until I'm ready to serve. So next we're going to make the topping. You're going to start with half a cup of dates and 2 cups of strawberries and a drizzle of that good quality maple syrup. You can also use agave nectar or honey. It's equal parts in regards to measurements, so totally up to you, your sweetener of choice. And there it is, folks. We're done. There's our strawberry cheesecake. Unless you're up for a challenge. If you want to learn how to turn this cheesecake into a trifle, stay tuned. We'll begin by making brownies. We start with half a cup of coconut oil, half a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder or sweetened cocoa powder, up to you. Then we're going to add 6 eggs or any kind of egg replacement that you like, and half a cup of coconut or almond flour, half a cup of honey, 1 teaspoon baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we're going to mix that all together. And like I said, whenever the recipe calls for maple syrup, you can also use agave nectar or honey. It's completely up to you. So now we're going to add the ingredients that were in the saucepan to our batter. Get that all mixed together. Look at it coming together. Yay! And now we're going to take that batter, lightly grease a 9 by 9 pan, and add that into our pan. Don't be leaving any batter behind. I love scraping that bowl clean. And I'm going to bake that at 350 degrees for 18 to 23 minutes. Next, let's go on to the pudding. So you're going to start with 3 bananas, get that blended up, and then we're going to add 2 avocados to the mix. I know this sounds strange for pudding, right? But you'll see. So let's get that all thickened up. That's what it'll look like. And we're going to add 1/4 cup of unsweetened or sweetened cocoa, completely up to you. Next, I add 2 cups of almond or coconut milk, and there we have it. Next, let's move on to the coconut milk whipped cream. So start with a 14-ounce can of coconut milk, which we'll place in the fridge for about 4 hours, and it turns into this whipped cream. So I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of honey and a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I'm going to get that all whipped up. It's really fun to watch this one whip up. And look, it's a cloud. And now we're going to begin layering our trifle. For those of you who don't know, trifles are basically just a multi-layered concoction dessert where you can put anything and everything that you love into one bowl and serve it up by the slice. I start with the brownies at the bottom because I know that they're going to absorb the pudding and the whipped cream. Next, I move on to the pudding and I just place that on top of the brownies. And yes, this can get messy in regards to the bowl. You don't have to clean it up, but if you're a neat freak, go ahead. I'm going to move on to the whipped cream, and I place that on top of the pudding, slide it over like a little glaze, and last but definitely not least is our cheesecake. So I start slicing that up and I place that on top. And it is absolutely beautiful. You can actually stop at this layer here, but why stop? Why not repeat it and add another layer? People will love you for it. And if you've got little ones in your family, this recipe is like an art project that they can eat. Let them help you out. And just so that you guys know, it really doesn't matter how you place these items within the bowl because you won't be able to see it. So again, I did the pudding and now the whipped cream. And finally, my last layer of cheesecake. Look at that. Oh, this layer you will want to make appetizing so that way you can give it to your loved ones and they see what a treat it is. Until next time.